If you've ever been around a bunch of people grilling steak, you know there's no shortage of opinions on how to get the job done. But there's something they all agree on, and it's that dry-aged, grass-fed beef is the way to go. We're here in Hunt Valley in northern Baltimore County at John Brown General and Butchery, where dry aging is an art form.
Owner Robert Voss is passionate about whole animal butchering and dry aging his beef. And what does dry aging do?
Over the time, we are reducing water content as it evaporates out of the protein itself, and that intensifies flavor.
The process begins when their butcher makes his regular delivery, dropping off 4 sides of beef which have been cut into quarters. The store's team of butchers break down the meat into somewhat smaller cuts suitable for dry aging. It's hard work that requires considerable expertise. When the cuts are ready, they go into a special humidity-controlled locker for the dry aging treatment.
This is our dry aging locker. We kind of have a color degradation as it goes through the process. This is our earliest delivery, and then it goes through week by week. So every delivery, it drops down to the next shelf, and then down to the next, and down to the next. All we're doing is getting rid of the excess water weight.
Without excess water, the meat remains succulent and juicy, and after about 3 weeks, it's ready for sale. But I can't figure out how they get those nice-looking steaks out of those great big old chunks of meat. Butcher Ben Sawyer lets me watch while he cuts finished steaks out of a huge piece of meat called the drop loin, home of sirloins, T-bones, and tri-tips.
All that stuff comes out of here?
Yes,
and
sir.
you can visualize it, you know where it is and everything?
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. To me, this looks like an alien life form.
Ben wrestles with the meat, knife slashing away in just the right places. As scraps of fat are discarded, the drop loin starts to take shape.
Over here, that's somewhat familiar,
Sure.
but I'm not sure what it is.
Ben keeps trimming, cutting away that most annoying bit of spine, the chine bone. And then, all of a sudden...
Oh, it's really starting to look like something now.
Yeah.
Look at
clean
that.
it up.
Yeah.
Just to the side, trim it out.
And then the moment of truth. One last cut, and a perfect strip steak emerges.
There we go.
That is amazing.
Nice, beautiful strip steak.
That's what I call a strip steak. This is just incredible. This is absolutely beautiful. And look at the marbling on it. It's very, very nice.
Yeah.
And it's thick.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ben.
Yeah, of course.
That's the way I like it.
You got it.
Every Friday, the dry-aged beef is put out on display, and customers flock to John Brown's meat case, which looks like something out of a museum. They ogle over beautifully cut steaks, roasts, and chops. One thing that surprised me were the number of beef cuts I've never heard of. I've got some homework to do.
Owner Robert Voss tells me he's very particular about how farmers raise the beef he buys. It has to be grass-fed all the way.
At Grandview Farm in Harford County, owner Nick Bailey is 100% committed to raising his cattle on grass.
Grass-fed beef can be a lot tastier than grain-fed beef. It seems we found a sweet spot and that we can produce grass-fed beef that's not only delicious, but has the marbling that we're used to. And since the cattle are raised for much longer periods of time on the pasture, we think that that leads to a tastier product in the end.
It's the perfect union. Grass-fed, dry-aged beef, a recipe for success at John Brown Butchery.
Robert, they tell me this is exactly the New York strip that we cut this morning.
It is, yeah.
And somebody was nice enough to fix it for me. What do they do for it?
Pan roasted, seared in a pan, flashed in the oven, and then we base it out to finish in a bit of butter, rosemary, and garlic.
Nice, and that's perfectly medium rare the way I really like it.
I'd hope so.
When I was younger, I used to think that I had to have a great big steak because I'm a great big man and all that stuff. But actually, I find myself eating smaller portions these days.
Yeah, to each your own. If you like a big steak, have at it. But we think appropriate portion size is about 6 to 8 ounces.
Really?
Yep.
Now, that's about how much here?
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's great. What I'd like to do is get information about your shop and put it on our website so people can read it and maybe come visit.
That'd be great. We'd appreciate it.
Well, good. Look for it at mpt.org/farm and learn more about this wonderful place. For the Local Buy, I'm Al Spoler.
To get the recipe featured in this video, click the link in the description. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on future stories. Thanks for watching Maryland Farm and Harvest.